I don't know about you, but after you finish a cold one, I just can't help but find it so depressing when you don't have a convenient way to crush that can. So today, we're going to work with the Pneumatic Can Crusher on 3D Outdoors. Stay tuned.
All right, let's get into this. That was a very cute pun there. I hope y'all caught that. He's got the soda can in his hand, soda pressing. Hope y'all caught that. Cool pun on words there. We're going to put together this can crusher from Amazon. We're not putting a link down below, well, because we can't, and there's so many different ones. You can just pick the one you want. I think they all pretty much go together the same, work the same. Let's go through the tools you're going to need first. You need a 24 millimeter wrench, 17 millimeter wrench, 14 millimeter wrench, a 12 millimeter wrench, and a 7 millimeter wrench. Now obviously your universal wrench could probably do several of these jobs, but you'll see where having a regular wrench will be a lot more advantageous because there's some tight quarters where you're doing those. So I wouldn't recommend this except for maybe in place of the 24 if you don't have a 24 laying around. We did. And you're going to need a screwdriver. When you pull this out of the box to begin with, you'll have the side that the can gets crushed in. You have the pneumatic part of it that has a couple of plugs in here which we've already removed and got those out of the way for assembly. And it has a protective cover over the threads on the end here, which is nice. You get the plunger itself, the button that you'll use to activate the pneumatic, all of the parts needed to screw in, and a little Allen wrench for some of them, and of course the hazard, if you can't figure it out on your own, that it's going to crush a can in here. If you put your finger in there or your hand, it's going to take it off. If for those people that can't figure that out, there is a warning label that you can put on it. Just saying. Okay, let's get to putting this together here. First of all, you'll take your fittings here. You have your air fitting that screws in the center port here, and it has a O-ring on it. That's your 14 millimeter. Go ahead and tighten that down. You have your two air filters here, which are not needed to be sealed, so they don't have any Teflon tape on them. So we'll screw those in here real quick. And that would be your 12 millimeter. Snug those down. On the other side, you have some air fittings that these air hoses will go in. Those have Teflon tape on them already. You know, you'd think if they put the Teflon tape on them, they could have just put them in. Guess it must have been a lot more labor. So we're going to screw those in here quick. And this is where having the regular wrench that can just go on it is a lot nicer. Now if you put these outside ones on first and tried to screw the center one on with the fits-all wrench, you'd have a hard time, but a regular wrench would work on that. But the way I put it in, you could actually probably use the universal crescent wrench for doing that. Okay, we have that all in place. This button will attach to whichever side you want to put it on. And they give you a couple of screws with that. Nice long screws that will go through here. So we'll go ahead and put those in there. Screw the locking nut. They're a locking style nut on the other side. There we go. And that would be your 7mm and your Phillips screwdriver. Now we're going to want our air fittings on the pneumatic cylinder itself, and those have thread tape on them already as well. They came that way. No, Anthony didn't put that on already. And that is your 17mm. And yes, all of these are metric. I would imagine they came from overseas, so that's why they're metric, not American. And once you get them tightened down, you can turn your airlines whichever direction you want. Now we're going to hook up our piston to the unit. There's 4 holes for the 4 bolts, and that's where the Allen wrench they gave you comes in. And the nut comes with a lock washer, which you're going to want to use. All right, now that we have everything fastened in there, we're going to take and put the pounding portion, shall we say, or the crushing portion on here, and that just screws right on top of the plunger of the pneumatics. Put that all the way down tight, and then that back nut is what's going to keep that snug. So we're going to turn that to tighten it up, and that's where our 24mm comes in. We'll just tighten that up with the 24, like so, or like so, duh. And we have that. Now we just need to hook up our air lines, and you see a lot of other people that are reviewing these pushing fancy line cutters. I suppose they want to sell more on Amazon. Since I'm not getting anything from Amazon on this, I'm just going to tell you, if you need to cut it, I just use a razor blade. I think this end one here, we're going to push this right into that fitting there. Just going to bring this back one here up to the top and push it in so it's sealed. I don't need to cut that one at all. And this one here, you see the shorter one, they're all cutting it and everything else. I really don't think you need to. I think you can just loop that around and stick it right in there. If you needed to trim it, a razor blade would do fine, but that is just fine right there. Now we're going to mount this on a piece of wood so that we can put it in a vise and operate it. So we will just put that down like this so the end sticks out past where the can falls out. All right, we got her all together, got a little air in here. Anthony's gonna give it a try. You can see we have safety glasses on, which our glasses are, gloves to help protect our hands, safety message in place, don't stick your hand in there while you're operating it.
Beware of the button.
Can in. Push button.
Got to hold the button.
Hold the button all the way down until the can is completely crushed. There's a standard monster can. Here's a Celsius, which is a little narrower. Works just fine. Let's try a standard soda can. That would have been so depressing had that not worked.
Would have.
And a mini pop can. Worked just fine. Another Celsius can. And that one flipped up a little bit. So the little ones you'll have to watch.
Might have been a user error there on the input of the can, to be honest.
Yep, so we'll just have to watch that. So there you go. There is the assembly and test run of an Amazon pneumatic can crusher. I would not say that was so depressing.
No, had a little pop to it, honestly.
Yeah, worked very well. So there you go. This is Dan and Anthony with 3D Outdoors, reminding you to get into the outdoors and enjoy everything it has to offer. And you know, you could probably pick up some trash along the way, some aluminum cans, and you could crush them and make a little money off the aluminum cans too. You can always follow us over our website, 3d-outdoors.com. That's where we put everything together. See you next time.